Hey, today I'm updating the pricing page on opengraphplus.com. Through kind of this whole early access process, I've learned that the platform plan really doesn't make sense. The 39 a month at full price for creator also doesn't make a ton of sense. The business plan I actually feel pretty good about. So I want to fix this, but I wanted to show you how I'm actually dealing with plans inside of this application. I'm using a Ruby gem that I built called Superfeature. And what Superfeature is all about is you're creating Ruby classes for each of your plans. Um, and to start, you can hard code these things, right? You don't really need to tap into a database. But as things kind of go on and your plans start to deviate and have different limits, you can add limits to the database. And let's talk about limits. You create a plan, and then a plan just has a bunch of features, right? So, in this example, the free plan, disables priority support. And this disabled thing, it actually returns a Ruby class. It's a feature, and features have limits. And if you disable it, then it's going to show up as, hey, priority support enabled equals false. So this is an example of how to use Ruby for data objects. And I'm actually using it for two different data objects here. We have the plans object. There's actually a plans collection too that generates the table. And then of course there's feature objects inside of a plan, and then there's a limit in there. So you get this nice consistent interface into your plans. And there's some other examples on here you can see, like um, in this case, if a user has a projects count, this is like how you actually check, hey, this user has 6 projects, right? That's the amount that they have. The quantity and the maximum is 5. So you might show that they've exceeded that limit. So that's the advantage here of using these super feature Ruby objects, is that you just get this nice consistent interface to work through plans. All right, so let's switch over to my development environment here, and we can kind of get a sense of what it is that I'm going to be changing. So the first thing, I want to change these prices. Creator, I'm happy with being 19 a month. Actually, let's remove the discount first because I'm out of early access. So let's open the base plan, plan base. And each website has a plan, so that's kind of how this whole thing works. Okay, and then I'm going to find my discounts in the base class. And right now you can see I have this 50% off discount, and then we have round to the nearest 9. So I actually don't need any of these once I take these things out. So let's go ahead and remove this thing. We'll just set it to nil. I might need discounts later. You can see as soon as I save that, now we have our prices here, right? So 39 bucks a month, $99 a month, $2.99 a month. All right. You know what? Let's just talk pricing strategy a bit here. So this 39 a month, the reason why I'm thinking like, you know what, that's a bit too much for creators, is because this is really for people who are like paying for, say, Twitter, that little blue checkbox, or LinkedIn Premium. And, people aren't going to be too worried about throwing down this amount for either Twitter Premium or LinkedIn Premium. But it might be a bit much to kind of start for Open Graph. So I'm thinking, you know what, let's just kind of knock that in half. And my thinking there is, if you're paying 20 bucks a month to have all of your links look good on all of the social networks that you're using, Twitter and LinkedIn, this is a hell of a deal. And the way I want to think about pricing for this is like, you would have to be an idiot to not buy this. And that's what I'm trying to do here with my pricing. So hopefully this 19 bucks a month, if you are like publishing and very active on social media, and you have, say, a LinkedIn Premium and a premium Twitter account, this probably isn't going to be a big deal for you. 19 bucks a month. So we're going to go ahead and change that price. And we can see like the prices are updated. So that's pretty cool. I think if I run rake stripe sync, it will actually take this pricing data and we'll sync it up to my Stripe environment. So just for fun, let's try this now and see if it breaks. It should break. No, the sync worked before. So I can just change the price and then run sync. And then what actually happens is these Ruby classes get synced up to Stripe. It just kind of compiles out this price that Stripe wants, and then it puts it on there. So the nice thing about this is I don't have to deal with the database at all. Um, I've seen some setups where you're putting prices and stuff in the database and you're actually storing the price ID in the database. And I just don't like having all those mappings. I want to have these price objects where I can just change them, run a command, and then everything updates. How do I get rid of this? All right. Okay, so platform, I want to get rid of the platform plan because I don't need it anymore. It doesn't really make sense yet. It also kind of violates this idea of connecting your website to one of these plans. So this is the mental model I want to establish here is one plan per website. This one is more for like, oh, you have multiple websites. So I want to get that out again in the future. I just don't want to deal with that now. And I want to show the free plan because that's the other thing. I want to have a free plan. I want to have something that people can hook up to the personal website and get Open Graph Plus for free. So let's try that out. If we open up free, it's actually a plan already. The price is 0. But the problem is this plan is not being displayed on the table right now. So I have a collection that I actually slice for that. So we can see here, this pricing thing is a method that I can call, or I can say um, plans pricing, right? It's going to give me this public array here. So if I delete this, then this table should update. Yep. All right. And we see, okay, creator is gone. Actually, we want creator. Sorry. I want to get rid of platform. So let's get rid of platform. But we also have to add free to this collection. There we go. All right. So we have starter, free, creator, $19 a month, and then business, $99 a month. So we're getting there. And I could save this if I run, actually I don't need to run Stripe Sync because the free plan just skips Stripe and goes um, straight to the sign up flow. So that's pretty much it. If I want to make changes to prices or add discounts, I can just do that. Actually, like let's say that I wanted to mark all these things down again for 50% off or 49% off or something. We go to plans, website base, and then I find discount. So we could say like, I don't know, 40% off. Hit save, and we can see those things are applied immediately. I did another video before this about how these discounts work and how the pricing object works. So if you're interested in that, check out the last video for pricing for how I built this thing. But what I wanted to focus on for this video is just like how Ruby objects can be used to make your plans table a bit easier to deal with. This same view is actually used in these like individual pages. So I just iterate over these features and I can show like, hey, this is enabled, this is not enabled. I can show the number of credits. So there's a whole reason why I have these features. And if we look in base here, you can see I have some of these features defined, right? Like customize how links appear, right? Screenshot variants, analytics, CLI. These are all things that I have enabled. And what's cool about these features is that I can show them on this page if I want. I can actually use them as internal feature flags as well. So if I have a feature that I'm working on that maybe I want to turn on for a few customers, I could do that. I actually have some like internal plans that, let's see, platform plans. No, that's the one that I just created. I have a few kind of internal plans that they're not public, but I need them for like service accounts within Open Graph. So there's a lot that I do with plans in terms of features and setting limits that are beyond what you would think for pricing tables. And the cool thing is, if I call user.plan, I can, within a controller, I can see like, hey, has this user exceeded their limits or not? So it's all kind of buttoned up in that little thing. And I think, let's see, plan. Yeah, so we can see here, this is a website. So if you have a website, I load the plan. So I call the super class or I call the license. The license is like if you buy a plan, then I attach, if you buy something on Stripe, it attaches a license to your website and I read the plan from that license. And of course, if there's nothing, which would be for a free plan, it just defaults at a free plan. So technically you don't even have to go through the free flow to do that. But this is an example of how you might attach these Ruby objects into your, let's see if we can open up license here. License.rb. Yes, this is how you hook it into your database. And I have these classes. It's just called a billing class. Sorry, a plan class. So I have these plan classes. And I just store the class names in the database, and then I constatize them and have a new website. The class names might be scary to some people. Like you're probably thinking, well, what if you have to change prices? So the way that I would do that is I might create a subclass of the current plan that I have, and I might put something like um, Q1 plans or something. Maybe I put that in a module and I extend these existing plans, and then I just kind of tweak a few numbers on the things. So that's kind of how I would handle that. But anyway, you can get a sense here of like how this is useful for plans tables. And in the next video, I plan on covering more just like how these feature limits work. And I'll show how I actually tie these plan limits that I just showed you into the controllers to enforce certain limits. I'm like, okay, this person exceeds 20 pages. What do they do next? Um, so I'll cover that in the next video. I'm going to make a few more tweaks to this. I'm probably deploy this to production, but I actually might change a few things. This page count stuff actually isn't super accurate. So and the support isn't. So anyway, I'm gonna like make some tweaks to it, but that's gonna be kind of boring. So I'll end the video now. And actually, if you want to add Open Graph to your website very quickly, go to opengraphplus.com. Uh, this is kind of what it's doing, right? If you get a link like this and there's no image for your website, that means you don't have Open Graph. And Open Graph Plus will get that for you and generate them automatically so that it looks good on every single page. And here's a fun fact. Every social network has a slightly different size image. And Open Graph Plus will actually generate different images per website, and it'll be to the exact size of that website. So it'll look good wherever you share it. That's the whole idea behind the thing.